Hello, welcome to the Math Together show, where thoughtful math educators gather and learn together. I'm Molly Vokey.
I'm Dr. Sue Looney.
I'm Heidi Subnani.
And I'm Brittany Rhods.
We are here today to talk to Brittany. It's very exciting about how we encourage girls in mathematics, specifically Black girls. So, Heidi, would you like to introduce Brittany to us, our guest?
Sure, I'd be happy to. Brittany Rhods is the founder of Black Girl MATHgic, a movement dedicated to increasing math confidence and awareness, enthusiasm, identity, fluency, and persistence in children, with a focus on girls and Black children specifically. Black Girl MATHgic's flagship product is the Black Girl MATHgic box, which is the first and only subscription box designed to increase math confidence and decrease math anxiety in girls in the 3rd to 8th grade math level. Brittany received her Bachelor in Science in Mathematics from Spelman College and her Master in Business Administration and Marketing and Communication from the Tepper School of Business at Carnegie Mellon University. Brittany is a proud native of Detroit, where she lives with her husband, Oscar. We're really thankful that she has given up her time to be here with us today, and we're just so excited to have you.
Thank you so much for having me. I'm excited to be here as well.
Awesome. We're so glad to have you and to give you a platform to talk to everyone about what you do and what you can share. So I just want to remind our viewers to go ahead and say hello and use those comments and ask your questions. And we're going to share a link where you can get a freebie from Brittany, which is really awesome, later in the show. And then also later in the show, how we can continue to support your journey. So to get us started, Brittany, we've been asking all of our guests the same question, and it's, what is your why? So why did you get into the work that you're doing, and why is it so important?
So that is such a great question. People ask sometimes, what is your founder's journey, and what is your business journey? And I'm like, I literally have loved math since I've had a memory. Like, since I was a little girl, math has always been my favorite subject. And like I was sharing with you ladies before we launched the broadcast, I am the daughter of a retired kindergarten through 8th grade principal. So education has always been something that was valued in my household and something I really cherished. And math, again, was always my favorite subject. And when I got to high school, my mom for me to tell this story, but when I got to high school, I was selected to take Algebra 2 and Geometry my sophomore year, which typically we didn't take Algebra 2 until junior year. But because of my aptitude, my Algebra 1 teacher recommended me for Algebra 2 sophomore year. So by the time I graduated from high school, I had taken 5 years of math class, 4 years. I was in AP Calculus, AB, my senior year. And it was around that time that my mom suggested, she was like, you should major in math when you go to college. And I remember saying to her, who would do that? Like, who would go to and major in math? Like, why would anyone do that to themselves? And so 3 years later, I was calling her from Spelman's campus, telling her that I was changing my major to math. I originally started as a computer science major, but coding was not sexy like it is now. And it really resonated with me a lot. And because I always loved math, and I knew that the critical thinking and logic skills that I would get from having a math degree would serve me no matter what career I ended up in, I switched over to math. And it was then that I started tutoring in our math lab at school, mostly working with folks, who just needed one class, to satisfy the requirement, and were happy to be done with math forever, or so they thought after that point. And that's when I fell in love with tutoring. So no matter what day job I had or what career I was doing, for the next 15 plus years, tutoring has always been my side hustle. And it's something just so gratifying about connecting with the student one-on-one and really helping them dig into their specific challenges with math and getting that proverbial light bulb to go off. And I started tutoring at a local nonprofit about 4 years ago. And this is kind of where the Black Girl MATHgic story starts.
Okay.
Our students, we serve about 150 students, and they come from all over the Detroit metro area. They go to all types of different schools. I'm saying that because I've noticed very quickly when I started working there, especially with the middle and high school students, that when they needed help with, your geometry or your pre-algebra trig, and we started working on that, it actually wasn't the geometry, the pre-algebra, or the trig that they were struggling with the most. It was basic mathematics. Mm-hmm. Right. So it was like when you get to the end of a two-step equation and now you have to multiply by 3/4 and you didn't really master multiplying fractions or dividing fractions. So you're like getting a little caught up there, and it just makes everything else feel that much harder. And so when I met my husband, he had all these subscription boxes he was subscribed to because he doesn't like to go out. So he had HelloFresh, and he had Blue Apron, and he had a box sending him clothes. And that was my introduction to the model. And I was intrigued by the concept of you being able to get something shipped straight to your doorstep, like with whatever. I'm like, they send you all the food and all you have to do is cook it. So that was back in 2014. So fast forward to 2018. He had planted a seed at that time, little unbeknownst to me. So fast forward to 2018, I want to do something more than just tutoring. I love to tutor, but I know that I can maximize, I can amplify what I'm doing. And I started looking at the subscription box landscape, and I was like, gee, there are so many STEM subscription boxes, so many, but nobody's focused on math. And why is that a problem? Well, because math is the foundation of STEM. So I decided, well, that means that this is an opportunity for me to try my hand at this. And so that's how Black Girl MATHgic was born. I focused specifically on girls and Black children because they sit at the intersection of pervasive racial and gender gaps in STEM. And when you look at the intersection of those two, Black and brown girls are the least served and the most underestimated. So that is, of course, not to say that this box can't benefit other girls, because it does. We absolutely have subscribers who do not identify as Black, and we've also had some boys get the boxes. But the goal is for a Black girl to see herself as a learner and doer of math. When we talk about building math identity in children, it is just this, that they see themselves in high quality math experience. So for me, it's just loving math as much as I do. It's my why. And then also understanding the transformative impact a foundation in basic math. So I'm not even talking about, your how-to or your, differential equations. A foundation in basic math can change a child's life. And I firmly believe that. And I believe basic math is a life skill and a civil right. And because I have a gift for making math accessible and digestible for children and adults, I also teach GED math to adults. I just figure, why not?
Wow. So, wow. Right. Right. So I want to pull many things back, but what was really striking to me, Brittany, was when the people that played a role in your decisions to believe in yourself going forward, right? Because you used the word underestimated. You described Black girls specifically as being underserved and underestimated. And it would appear that nobody was underestimating you, or you were receiving something along the way that it didn't hold you back. And I just wonder, like, you mentioned so many people. You mentioned your husband, you mentioned your father, you mentioned your mother. So I just want to pick up on that idea. Like, so what were those specific times when you knew this is for me, and no one is going to underestimate me, and you found the fortitude to believe in yourself and go forward?
Yeah, and so that's a good point too. So when I say that Black girls are underestimated and sit at the intersection, of course that's from a general sense, right? Of course, there are always there. I mean, I know I went to a historically Black college, and I was a math major in an all women's college, so I know a ton of Black women who have math degrees and strong math backgrounds. But in terms of looking at the data and the research, and
Right.
even my students, the students I work with and the population I serve, you know, it's there is an issue there. But of course, you know, there are outliers and counterexamples and all that good stuff. For me, yeah, I did not have this experience growing up. And so it was only when I started doing the research into and tutoring and working with this population, it was only then that I learned how pervasive and how glaring those gaps were. And when I say gaps, I'm not talking about the achievement gap, because of course, when we look at the data, boys and girls pretty much do the same in terms of their ability. But the issue is the confidence gap, right? You more than likely, when you ask a girl about her math confidence, he's gonna be like, and you ask the boy, and he's like, you know, he's Popeye the Sailor Man. He's like, I can do it. And so that's what I really wanted to address. So understanding from a gender perspective, and then when you look at the data in terms of when we talk about who's getting tracked into lower level math classes or who is not getting high quality math instruction, or there's been a lot of discussions, right, about cost per pupil and funding across districts and gerrymandering, all this other political stuff that's happening. Black children are continuously on a general scale not getting the high quality math experience they deserve. Right. So for me, like I said, I had privilege in the sense that I have a parent who is a lifelong educator, knew she wanted to be a teacher when she was 7 years old, and passed that love along to me. I grew up in the city of Detroit, which is a majority Black city. I attended for undergrad a historically Black college. So I've always been in these environments where my race wasn't something that could potentially make me feel that I was being held back or not being looked at as a star student. I was in these very nurturing, empowering environments. So by the time I got to business school, where I did go to a predominantly white institution, I was in my 20s, you know, so I had already had my identity was set, my foundation was set. I knew who I was and whom I am. So for me, it was an experience where I understood, like, okay, my experience, while I know a lot of other people who have had this experience, is still not commonplace enough. You know, it's still not commonplace enough. So my goal really is just for more girls to be excited about math and more Black children to be excited about math and use math to change the trajectories of their lives. I hope I answered your question. Please let me know.
Yeah. Brittany, I wanted to ask you, because I have a similar background in that I went to school for education, but I chose math as my major, but later on I chose it when they said you have to choose a major, you can't just major in elementary education. And I, like you, said, math? Are you kidding? Like, and I was good at math. I was pretty good at math. And people were like, you majoring in math? So when for you did that turn? Like, I've heard you say that you made that decision because you weren't finding what you were in the computer science, but how did the image of math change for you as you matured?
That is such a great question. You know, for me, I have always, it's kind of hard to explain, but you guys are my people, so you might understand this. I see the world mathematically. Like when I look at my house, like I see shapes and I see angles, and I just see things very mathematically, and I've always been that way. So for me, as I matured, it was more about learning the why behind that, right? Like by the time you get into college, and if you're majoring in math, you're understanding mathematics from an abstract level, and you're understanding, like, you're doing all these theorems and proofs and all of that fun stuff. So for me, it was really digging into the why behind it, and even learning. And as you're asking this, I'm thinking about, even with my students now, I'm still pulling from things I've learned as I've grown and gotten older. Even when we talk about, when I'm talking to my kids, I'll just give an example. One of my students yesterday, we were doing, she was asking about percent. And I forget her exact question, but literally breaking down cent. Like, what does cent mean? It means 100. And I joke with my students because I'm like, I hate to use this example, but I do it because I love you guys. But centipedes, I hate, I am terrible if one came in here right now, I would run. And my mom is here, thankfully, so she could kill it. They have 100 legs, right? So cent means 100. When we talk about centuries, that's 100 years. Centennial, that's in 100th-year anniversary of something. So Brett helping, and you learn that a lot as you get older, and you learn the backgrounds of words and the Latin meanings and like all of these types of things. So now I'm able to use that to help my students understand what words mean in math class, which I didn't really think about as a kid.
Yeah.
Not so much in college, but as I matriculated through college and was learning more about the history of mathematics, and since I've been on this journey, the Black Girl MATHgic journey, it's made me such a much better tutor and much better math coach, because it's something as simple as when you do the distributive property, like you're literally passing the number on the outside of the parentheses to the number on the inside. Like, what does it mean to distribute something? And then they're like, oh.
Right.
Oh my God, you are like standard souls. I swear I use all that same stuff with my 7th graders. I love it. I love it. So Brittany, maybe you could tell us about your product. We're so anxious to, maybe you have one to show us. We're so anxious to see what's in there.
Yes. Here it is. This is her.
She's adorable.
We don't really have an official name for her, but my mom and my husband and I, we call her Rachel.
Oh.
So
Okay.
front, drawn by my artist friend Phil, who is amazing. And this is the even the box itself before I open it. And please let me know when and if I need to wrap this up. I'm gonna try to be very quick in terms of going through it, but there's a lot in here. The packaging is very intentional, right? Most girls love the color purple. I ask so many of my girls, like, what's your favorite color? Or just watch what they wear a lot of, and it's always purple for the most part. So I was like, we're going to have purple be our main color. And when I started looking up color psychology and all that good stuff, purple represents royalty, it represents luxury, it represents quality. And that is all the things I want girls to feel when they do math and when they have this math experience. And it's also, apparently, it's anxiety reducing. And since the goal of the box is to decrease math anxiety, I was like, okay, purple is perfect. And it's really fun when they get it on the porch, right? They're like, "Oh, this is for me." And we put the names of the girls on the front when we mail them. So this is the inside of the box. Just when you open it, we have our little paper and all that good stuff. On the top, we just have two insert postcards, and this one tells you what's in the box. Each box is focused on a real world theme that girls can relate to and that they understand. So the box we're going through today is a business and entrepreneurship theme. But again, we're pulling out all of the math that's inherent in business and entrepreneurship. The next card is the Caring Adult Guide, because we have a lot of math anxious parents, and we want them to feel, that they could not help their child have the best experience, because we really want this to be a bonding experience. So this card just has like some tips and stuff on the back for getting the most out of the box, and also ways to extend the learning. So for this particular box, so each box comes, like I said, it's based on a real world theme, and it comes with those two cards you just saw on top. We always feature a woman mathematician, and the woman mathematician is how we come up with the theme. So whatever they did with their math degree, that's basically where the theme comes from. So this box, we feature Chandra Washington, who is in Maryland, and she is an on-demand chief financial officer for small businesses and startups. So that's why we get a business theme. She has a math degree from University of Maryland, College Park. So aside from the interview with the woman mathematician, we always include 3 to 5 items to make the theme come to life and to make it tangible. A lot of times kids feel math is not concrete, it's not accessible. So we wanted to create something where it feels really tangible and colorful. So the 3 to 5 items, there will always be at least one screen-free math activity or manipulative. I firmly believe that I'm overscreened. A lot of my students are overscreened. So I don't want to create something where it involves more screen time. So everything I include in the box can be done without a screen. So For this month, the 3 to 5 items we included financial literacy flashcards from a company called Sense to Sense. And these are just so adorable. I'll just show a couple of them really quickly. Again, just building financial literacy in children. So for instance, this one says money you give for work or through investments, income. Very simple, right? Employee, somebody who works for you. So they're learning these financial literacy terms and these business terms. The next item we included, again, we like to make things fun, but I also want things to be practical. I don't want any parents mad at me, like she has too much stuff. So I make sure it's things that can be consumed. So we put a little money pencil in here. Like we're talking about business and we're talking about money. So, you know, something that's fun, but also still on brand because this is an education box. And the last item we included this month, which I was so excited about, was a book called The Startup Squad. And it's about 4 girls. They're in middle school and they get assigned a lemonade stand competition at school. So it's all about them starting their business and like getting their lemons and, you know, all the drama that comes with that. And I actually reached out to the author, which I typically do when I include books. I reach out to the author just to say thank you and let them know that I'm including a book. And the author, he was like, oh, I got some stuff to send you. So he sent me bookmarks and stickers. So the girl got a little extra treat to go with this particular book. And I also include books, not every month, but some months because I don't, you ladies have also probably heard this too. The kids not understanding the connection between reading literacy and math literacy, right? Like they're like, why do I have to read in math class? And I'm like, ma'am, I don't even know why we're having this conversation right now. So some months I will include books because word problems, and I'll just leave it at that.
Right.
Last 2 items. So we always include custom stickers because, I mean, we love stickers.
Why not?
And I work with my artists, again, showing kids the connection between math and everything else. Math and art are very closely connected. So I just tell him what I want him to draw and he draws it. He always includes a portrait of the woman that we feature. So again, building identity representation, seeing people who like you doing really cool things with math. And then we just try to make it fun, you know, like a little piggy bank. And, you know, they love the emojis. And then we always try to have our girl like doing something actively with whatever the theme is. And then the very last thing is our math affirmation. So I love affirmations. I think they're very powerful. And again, because this is designed to increase math confidence and decrease math anxiety, something as simple as a statement that you can put up on your wall or in your journal or in your book bag every month that will give you a boost of confidence before a test, or, you know, even if you don't do well on a test and you need to give yourself that positive talk, we create a custom math affirmation for the girls. Some months I try to do it based on the theme. So like this one was having a strong math foundation makes sense now and in the future. And this is part of our growth mindset too, right? Like just because you got something wrong one day or you didn't remember this concept this one day, that doesn't mean that now you'll never learn that concept or now you'll never do well. So we really want to harness the power of math affirmation. So we do a different one each month. And then we always include a checklist on the back because I know several of my subscribers in real life, and I've seen my girls open these boxes, and you know they just go straight for the fun stuff, right? Like they don't always get to the math book. Oh wait, I forgot the booklet. Mommy, can you have me? That's the main thing. I'm so sorry. Can you have me the one in there? So, oh my goodness. The most important thing is the math activity booklet. Oh my gosh, I'm glad I remembered that while I was talking. So the math activity booklet, this is actually from another box. This was our real estate and home owner math box where we featured a realtor. But this is it is a 6-page booklet full of colorful math activities based on the theme. So we have a 3rd to 5th grade booklet and a 6th to 8th grade booklet. That is the only thing that differs in the box. So each girl will get the same items and materials. So I try really hard to curate and find items that can be appealing to an 8-year-old and a 13-year-old. So they'll get the same items. The only thing that'll be different is the math activity booklet. So this is our 3rd to 5th grade booklet. So again, this is from a different box, but we were doing home ownership stuff. So like they're looking at homes. Even in this box, I included a sheet of graph paper, and they were doing some like area and perimeter activities. And then for the older kids, we did some volume activities. And then they always like get to hang out with the mathematician we feature and kind of step into her shoes. So in this, like the question was about, she had a 6% commission on a $100,000 sale. Like how much did she make? And we always include the answer keys as well. So again, the parents don't feel like they have to come up with those things themselves. So that's the box.
Yay.
Love,
So
love.
if our viewers are interested in ordering, where do they go? And I think we have the answer on a banner, but I just want to. That's where they go, correct?
This is a fun entrepreneurship story. Let me take a sip really quick. So when I started Black Girl MATHgic, blackgirlmathgic.com was taken. It was very random. It was taken, but it was not being used. I had to wait about 9 months for it to not only not be claimed, but then to be available for purchase. But of course, you can't let those types of things stop you from starting. So I started off with blackgirlmathgicbox.com as a landing page. So that's where I collect email addresses. But now, actually on Saturday, I'll be launching my new website because it's finally ready, and it'll have everything there. So what will happen if people go onto blackgirlmathgicbox.com, they'll get to download our freebie, which was actually our very first math activity booklet from our very first box last year, where we featured Dr. Gladys West. So it's about travel math and road trip math and all that fun stuff. So they'll get that digital freebie. Thank you guys. And blackgirlmathgic.com is soft launched. So if you go there right now, you can place an order and you can see everything in all of its entirety.
Awesome. That is so great. So speaking of, it's your 1-year anniversary, correct? It's coming up here shortly. And you have a event coming up very shortly. So, and a very special guest. So tell us a little bit about that.
Yeah, so it was this time last year that my mom and my friend and I were at FedEx because I didn't have a shipping label printer yet, and we were there for 3 hours shipping our very first month of boxes. I will never get it. So we're going to celebrate. So our 1-year anniversary and website launch party is this Sunday at 3 p.m. Eastern Standard Time on Zoom, 3 p.m. to 4 p.m. It'll probably be a little bit shorter than that. And our very special guest is Dr. Gladys B. West, the mathematician whose calculations helped invent what we now know as GPS, and who was considered another hidden figure. She's 89 years old, still very much interviewing, and she actually just came out with a memoir, which is somewhere in my pile of stuff. She just came out with a memoir about a week ago, and she's going to come on and do a live Q&A with our family and friends who will be joining us at our party. And we'll also be having some fun giveaways. Educational Insights is going to provide some fun math games. I'm going to give away a couple of things. And we're going to play a couple of math games. So it should be a lot of fun. And you don't have to leave your home to join us.
Oh, Brittany, this is so exciting. We are, sorry for the feedback.
Oh, wait, let me mute myself in case it's me.
We are just so thrilled to be able to talk to you. Your story is amazing, and you are a delight. And we would like to close this down a little bit because we're getting close to our 30 minutes. And we're going to have Sue tell about our latest thing that we're doing at Math Together.
Okay, I want to make sure I'm not getting feedback. I just have, like, I'm bursting though, Brittany. Like, I cannot, like, I'm like, ooh, like, I want this box. And I just, I am so appreciative of your soul and your presence on this planet. Like, I feel such guides for what you're doing, and I think it is critically important work, and so I thank you for that. And I understand Beyonce has also discovered you, and I think you're just going to continue to be discovered. So we want to continue to support the work that you're doing and continue to share. So we will continue to help people know what you have to offer for all of us. So thank you so much.
And I will add, if there are any schools or districts or educators watching, we do bulk orders. For the pandemic, we got our first bulk order from East Orange School District.
Amazing.
They ordered boxes, and then the pandemic happened, but we're available as well as for another way to engage your students in this virtual time.
Awesome. So did they just reach out to you a little differently if it's a school that wants to place an order as opposed to an individual?
Sue, can you say that last part one more time for me, please? I didn't hear you.
How do schools reach out to you? Just all the information is on your website, correct?
Yeah, they just email us, or you can even message us on Instagram.
Okay.
Yeah.
Well, great. That's so awesome. And I really can't wait to get my hands on my first one. I thank you so much for being with us today.
Thank you guys so much for having me. This was such a treat.
You're welcome. And I see there's comments from viewers that really appreciating everything that you're sharing with us. So we would just like to invite people to continue to tune in as we're bringing on future guests, and let you know that we have set up a new way for you to connect with the Looney Math team. And so I don't know if we can put up the banner about the math chat, but I'm going to go ahead and put it in the comments. And so what we're doing is we're setting up a Shape Your Future chat. Oh, the banner was up, but my fault. It's in the comments. So we are setting up an opportunity if you want to pick up on earlier shows that we've done, where if you need some help and support in planning as you get ready to welcome your students back to the school year, certainly feel free to reach out to us on those using that link right there.
Yes. And next time we are going to be here next Thursday at 4 o'clock. And we're going to be talking about best practices. We have been talking for several weeks about how are we going to put into place in our new normal the things that we know are best for kids. And we've been talking a lot about it and reading about it. And we're going to share what we've learned with you. We're going to focus on hybrid learning. So we'll focus on things that are happening at home and things that happen at school. And if you enjoyed today's show, there are many more ways that we can support you. And if you join Math Together, we can support you in a lot of different ways. So please join us at Math Together. I need to put up that banner when you can reach it at looneymath.com. So thank you, Brittany, so much for being with us today. This was so fun. You are so adorable, and our watchers really enjoyed watching you. So thanks for coming today, and we wish you much luck in everything that you're doing. Like you said, spreading positivity in the world. So thank you for that. So until next time, always be curious.
See you, everyone.
Bye.